New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring. New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Live from a secure concrete bunker somewhere in Ohio, New Thought Media Network presents Pastor Michael Mangus with Friday's Fireside Chat, spiritual conversation for today. Here he is from the secret radio room, surrounded by thousands of watts, Pastor Michael Mangus.
Well, good evening to everyone across the United States and also around the world. It is time once again for another fun-filled, thrill-packed, and always guaranteed exciting edition of the Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network. I am Pastor Michael Mangus, and I am broadcasting this evening from the super secret radio room, surrounded by thousands, and I mean thousands of watts, in a secure concrete bunker somewhere around Akron, Ohio. That is so top secret that only my producer, Diego Reyes, knows where I'm at. Now, I was talking to our chief inspirational officer, the Reverend Robert Brzezinski, earlier. And he says, dude, I know where you're at. Then come find me, Robert. Oh, anyhow. Well, hi there. Welcome. It's good to see everyone this evening. Please feel free to interact with us through the comments. That would be wonderful. And for all my shy people out there who don't want to comment, all you need to do is send me an email, pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com, pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com. So the purpose of our fireside chat here on Friday evenings is to look at contemporary issues from a New Thought perspective. And as I keep saying over and over again, I want us to all have a new thought about what is going on around us here. And to ask the question, what is our part in all of this oneness? What is our part in making this a world that works for everyone? Anyhow, we are working in the backgrounds now with our chief producer, Diego Reyes. He is working on the background to get the Reverend Donna Christine Park from WHAMS, which stands for Walk a Mile in My Shoes on the Path to Peace. Reverend Donna Christine is also active in the International New Thought Alliance that will be having its first in-person world conference coming up since 2019, coming up in Chicago this summer. So hopefully we will talk with Donna Christine during the second half of our program. So what Diego is doing back at Master Control is he's pulling wires, he's punching buttons, flipping switches, and all kinds of crazy stuff. So anyhow, we're having a good time tonight here. Good to have Diego back at Master Control. we've had to go ahead and we skipped last week, and then the week before, then we went ahead and recorded. So it's good to have Diego back at master control. So we'll start off this evening with the news. And we start off in the Ukraine. Ukrainian officials have condemned Russia's missile attack on Kiev last night, which occurred as the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres was finishing a visit to the Ukrainian capital. During his visit, Guterres called for evacuation corridors to be opened in Mariupol, saying that the besieged city is a crisis within a crisis. Guterres then went to Moscow to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin on Tuesday and said that Putin agreed in principle for the involvement of the UN and also the International Committee of the Red Cross with the evacuation of the civilians from Mariupol. So our prayers are still with our brothers and sisters over there. And again, Centers for Spiritual Living and other New Thought centers, we do have congregations over there. And we do have pockets of people. So our group here in the United States of practitioners has been praying with them daily over in the Ukraine. So we keep them in prayer. We keep the high watch. We know the peace is possible here. We don't know how it's to happen, but we know the peace is possible. So we allow that peace to come through us as we go ahead and we set that intention. Also in the news here, yes, it will not go away. Coronavirus is still with us here. Moderna said yesterday it's seeking emergency authorization use from the FDA for its COVID-19 vaccine for children 6 months through 5 years. To date, no COVID-19 vaccines have been authorized for children less than 5 years of age in the U.S., and that's around 18 million young people. And a timeline to potential authorization is not yet clear. However, Moderna officials have said that the FDA is expected to move fast, and Pfizer officials suggested that its vaccine for younger children could also be available in June if authorized. This comes days after Pfizer asked the USDA for the green light for a booster dose of its vaccine for children ages 5 through 11. Experts say that vaccines for children are a high priority. That follows studies that have shown that the vaccine's efficacy has waned significantly in children amid the spread of the Omicron variant. So as I've been saying now for 2 years, please follow the science. Do not get your information from Facebook or other places. Get it from credible sources, from the CDC, from the WHO. And again, that I was reading earlier before we went on the air, that Dr. Anthony Fauci says that there is no way that we're going to get herd immunity, especially with the vaccines now. And so what it's going to be now is we're going to have to tweak the vaccine now every few months for the variants that are coming up. But again, I highly suggest everyone just follow the science here. And again, I'm getting a booster here in the next few weeks. And again, I think if there's anybody that's done a lot of research in this for the past 2 years, it's been yours truly because of this program. So again, I can't tell you, and I'm not going to, but I will suggest again to follow the science. And again, take care of yourself and also other people. Get your vaccine. In economic news this evening, America's economy unexpectedly shrank in its first quarter of 2022. Gross domestic product declined at an annual rate of 1.4% during the first 3 months of this year, the worst quarter for the American economy since the pandemic turned the world upside down in the spring of 2020. However, the economists are saying don't panic because this is not an indicator of an immediate recession. The negative GDP number is a surprise, but not a material one. And that was said by Moody's analytic chief economist, that's Mark Zandi, that he told CNN. He says that the economy continues to grow strongly and at a pace that continues to bring down unemployment. So also on a positive side, consumer spending, the main driver of the U.S. economy, accelerated during the first 3 months of the year. Business investment also surged at an annual rate of 9.2% in the first 3 quarters. That's up from 2.9% during the last quarter. So I'm going to say this. Do you want to get out of fear and worry about the economy? I hope you do. God is the source of our supply. No matter what CNN says, no matter what the economists say, God is the source of our supply. There is plenty for everyone in the world. There is. So we allow ourselves to be immersed in that supply by knowing that God is the source of our supply. And yes, prices are higher than they were a year ago. And I want to ask you a question. Have you missed a meal here? And for a good majority of you, no. And yes, gas prices are up. And most of us are still able to fill our tanks at the pumps. We have so many blessings living in our countries. Krishnamurti said when he got off a plane in the 1960s, he said, we in the United States, we live in paradise and we don't know it. So the prices are up because of the volatility that's found in the supply chain because of the economic conditions. So let's get beyond that. Let's know that God is the source of our supply. And from the New Testament, it says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and its righteousness, or righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto us. So we need to get our eyes off of the economic conditions and turn them towards the abundance of God. All right? So that brings us to our next story here. The U.S. Postal Service is facing lawsuits in 16 states, the District of Columbia, and also a coalition of environmental groups seeking to stop the purchase of thousands of gas-powered trucks after the USPS committed to lessen its environmental impact. Now, according to Postmaster General Louis DeJoy, the USPS lacks the funding needed to increase the number of electric vehicles in its fleet. Postal Service spokesperson Kim Frum told CNN in a statement yesterday that the agency had conducted a robust and thorough review before moving forward with its vehicle plan, and that more electric vehicles could be commissioned if the funding becomes available. And there is $6 billion that's set aside in President Joe Biden's Build Back Better Act to help the USPS transition to all electric vehicles, but the bill has stalled in the Senate. We all must be concerned here about what is going on in our environment. Or what's going to happen is we're not going to have a place to pass on to our children. Electric vehicles could be one of the solutions as long as we generate the power by ecological means. Now, in the United States, we are addicted to our cars. Let's face it here. A first good step is to start the switch over to electric and natural gas powered government vehicles. Now, the vehicle that the United States Post Office currently has spec'd out is this ugly looking van. I'm just going to leave it there. You can look online for it. But again, it's not going to really help us. Again, they have thousands of vehicles on the roads every single day here in the United States. So it would really help if we made those electric, and also that we started again the switch over to, again, electric and also to natural gas, which a lot of the bus companies, the Metro Transits, are using right now. All right. Well, hi there. Welcome. This is the Friday evening fireside chat here on the New Thought Media Network. Pastor Michael Mangus with you. How are you doing this evening? Good to see everyone. We are having so much fun here. Trying to figure out Reverend Shoes. Reverend Shoes, can you hear me at all? Give me a big smile if you can hear me in the background. Give me a big smile. Okay, we're still... Diego's doing his magic in the background. Okay, so I do not want to interrupt a wizard. Well, we're going through the news this evening here on the Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network. Another story I wanted to briefly touch on this evening: Oklahoma lawmakers passed a 6-week abortion ban yesterday, modeled after the controversial Texas abortion law, which allows a private citizen to take civil action against abortion providers to enforce the law. And that also includes clergy. So if you're a clergyman or woman and you're helping out a young lady by taking her to the local clinic, you too, if they turn you in, it's not the law enforcement, it's everybody else. It's like a citizen's arrest. The bill in Oklahoma would prohibit abortions at the time when a physician can detect an early cardiac activity in the embryo or fetus, which is usually around 6 weeks into a pregnancy, and this is even before many women know that they're pregnant. Exceptions will be provided for medical emergencies, and this comes amid a movement by the Republican-led states to severely curtail the procedures, and as Oklahoma's legislature ramps up in its push to restrict abortion rights. The bill now heads to Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt, who is a Republican, for the final approval. Stitt has pledged to sign every piece of legislation that limits abortion to reach his desk. My comment here is this: we must continue to support a woman's right to choose here in the United States. And I find that the pro-life movement is more pro-birth than anything else. So my question is this: how do we support the mother and child after birth? Do we provide adequate food and housing and shelter to the family? Do we support welfare programs that truly do get families self-supporting through educational training for the mothers? The unborn is a very easy thing to protest because they can't say anything. The reason why we have a lot of uproar in this country is because, again, the unborn, again, is a very emotional issue. And as a man, who am I to say what a woman should or shouldn't do? A woman's right to medical care includes safe, legal abortions. That's being threatened here in the United States. And who is making up most of this legislation? Can we say men? The pro-lifers legally may not be able to take out completely Roe v. Wade. That was the Supreme Court decision that allowed for legal abortion here in the United States. However, what they're doing is allowing states now to go ahead and to make up their own laws, and that is their tactic now. Now, the rich and well-off will always have access to safe abortions. Why? Because all they have to do is get on an airplane and go to another state or even another country that offers abortions. And what happens to the mother, the young lady in the inner city, in a town or village in which a state to get a legal abortion is quite a far way away? I support women here, and I support a woman's right to choose, and I support the right of every woman and every woman to have health care that includes safe and legal abortions. Let's understand that even in the Jewish tradition, I think it's like 12 weeks or more. Please correct me. Please write me at pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com if you to correct me. But it's a lot more time than what they're allowing with the legislature. But what they're saying from the Jewish tradition is that it usually takes 3 months for a soul to inhabit the fetus. So there is some time here. So anyhow, I just wanted to bring that up this evening here on our Friday evening fireside chat here on the New Thought Media Network. Pastor Michael Mangus. Diego, I need if you could go on the back monitor here for just a second here. Why don't I go another 5 minutes? Would that be okay? Another 5 minutes? Okay. We're still working on the back end with Reverend Donna Christine Park. So hopefully that we're going to be able to have her on. All right. Diego, what you may want to do is tell her to give me a call during the break, and we'll just go ahead and we'll patch it in through the phone, through the board. All right. Oh, Diego loves me at Master Control. We were talking about your raise today.
Thank you, Pastor. I've already told Rev Shoes that when we bring her into the shot, it freezes up, just to have her give you a call.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That was Master Control, the voice of God in the form of Diego Reyes. All right. One more story, and then we'll go to a break here. I really liked this last story. I usually try to get something from the religion news, and this story was very inspirational here. It says Interfaith Trolley offers inspiration and also a whirlwind tour of religion in America. So I'll just read part of it here. In America's third largest city, it's possible to get a crash course in the world's religions in just a journey of a few miles from the University of Chicago's majestic and ecumenical Christian Rockefeller Memorial Chapel on Chicago's South Side to a humble mosque which meets in a converted stable, still under renovations, a 15-minute ride to the south. On last Sunday, which was the Orthodox Christian Easter, 70 or so passengers, they took a ride on the Interfaith Trolley, which is a tour of sacred spaces inspired by this month's convergence of Ramadan, Passover, Easter, a holiday with the Sikhs and also the Baha'is, and also another Hindu holiday. So it all converged during one time during the month of April. Perhaps more reminiscent of speed dating than a comparative religion course, the tour made brief stops at 5 religious sites across southeastern Chicago, hearing from a series of faith leaders and lay people from different religious groups. I've been to conferences, and with the International New Thought Alliance, I was at a conference back in 2012. And I was on one of the tour buses that went ahead, and we went to several religious sites there. And one of the more beautiful temples, when you go to Chicago, make sure that you go to the Baha'i Temple. Oh my goodness, just look it up on Google. It is absolutely spectacular. So I bring this up to say that I bet you that even in our metropolitan area of Akron, Ohio, that I know of several places where we could do the same thing. We are all one on some level. Let's start acting like that and start promoting things like interfaith trolleys. It's not that hard to do. And I know that a lot of people would love to visit other places. We have a couple of mosques in our area. We also have Hindu temples. We have a lot of variety here in our area. Again, of all religious belief. All right. All right. That's all for me here. We will go to the announcements and then we will work on having Reverend Shoes come on. Yours truly is currently parking himself at Summit CSL. For more information, go to summitcsl.org. There you will find information about our wonderful Sunday gathering online at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific time. Yes, people do get up that early in the morning for our service. Grab your cup of coffee, your tea, your espresso, come join us. We really do have, I believe, one of the best services that I have ever seen in New Thought. And this Sunday, for the first part of May, we'll be starting off the month with our spiritual director, Donna Mangus. We'll have a wonderful spiritual topic for us. So go to summitcsl.org for more information on how to join the Zoom call. Our service is also simulcast on the Summit Spiritual Center of Akron Facebook page, and also our Facebook page has past broadcasts of this great program, the Fireside Chat, and also yours truly when he's doing prayer on the New Thought Media Network. Again, I was on a call today with Robert Brzezinski, our Chief Operational Officer here at New Thought Media Network. We are working on a lot of different projects that we can't even tell you yet. And the reason we're able to do what we do here is because of your loving support of us. When you partner with us here, what happens is that not only do you get that good feeling when you give, but you also have the opportunity to affect lives around the world when you support this network. It amazes me. It amazes me the cards and letters that we get, the emails from people around the world who just happen to tune in to our offerings here. So please partner with us. This is good soil here. So go to ntmedia.org/donate. You may give a very generous one-time gift, or you may be a sustaining donor by giving a monthly gift every single month. That, again, really helps us to start building the budgets and also allows us then to go ahead and to pay salaries and to pay bills more on a consistent basis. So that's ntmedia.org/donate. All right. So we're going to take a break here, and then we will be back here with the Reverend Dr. I already gave her a doctorate already because I think she deserves one. Donna Christine Park from Arizona. She will be with us here in just a few more moments. This is a Friday evening fireside chat here on your New Thought Media Network.
New Thought Media Network is on the rise. We're looking to grow with you. Do you have technical media experience or perhaps a desire to learn? Are you willing to volunteer your precious time and attention? We share this message to benefit all. If you possess a computer with a camera and a microphone, we will share our knowledge with you. Behind the scenes or being the star, let us bless our one. Contact us at info@ntmedia.org.
views and opinions expressed by Pastor Michael Mangus are generally right. However, they are his own and do not reflect the views and opinions of New Thought Media Network, Centers for Spiritual Living, or any other person living or dead. As they say in the 12-Step Recovery Program, take what you like and leave the rest. Here again is Pastor Michael.
And on the phone, hopefully, we have all the way from all the way from Arizona, we have my good friend, the Reverend Donna Christine Parks. Donna Christine and I have known each other for many, many years through INTA, the International New Thought Alliance. So we're going to talk about her wonderful ministry called WHAMS, which is Walk a Mile in My Shoes on the Path of Peace. We're also going to be talking about the World Conference coming up here in several months here in Chicago. Hello, Donna Christine. Welcome to the New Thought Media Network. How are you this evening?
Well, it's great to see you, Michael, as always.
Okay. Yeah, well, thank you. We could probably go back on, but that's okay. I think we've gotten it all taken out. Okay. You know what? We're Diego is suggesting that you just go ahead and put it down. Is that what you're suggesting, Diego? Yeah, go ahead and put it down and connect through your through the computer.
Okay, I'm signing in here.
Okay, good. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So is there anything in your background there?
That's my window.
Oh, your window. Okay, that's wonderful. Well, Donna Christine, again, thank you for being on this evening. We lost her, Diego. All right. Just when we thought we had her here. Can we call her back? Diego, you may be my guest here. Hold on here. This is live, folks.
I'm back.
Okay, good.
I am back.
We always want to point out Donna Christine's hat.
Yes.
She always has a nice hat.
My circle of love.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how did you get the whole idea for having a shoe ministry?
Oh, my favorite question. Well, actually, I had attended the Unity Conference here in Arizona back in 2008. And I was given tickets to go to a seminar following the conference. And when we went to this, it was Sweet Tomatoes, which is a buffet on the other side of Phoenix. And there was a group of people gathering, and I mean literally all different aspects of life. There were Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts and military and, just a little bit of everybody. And of course, being the curious person that I am, I waddled over with my walker and asked the question, what is this? And I was introduced to the Military Family Support Group, which got together every month to pack boxes to send to the military in Iraq and Afghanistan. And I went to the seminar, and if you ask me what it was about or what was said, I can't answer because my brain was already going 1,000 miles a minute, and I couldn't sleep that night. But when I awoke, I knew that Walk a Mile in My Shoes on the Path to Peace was my purpose. And so we began by collecting children's shoes, gently loved shoes, with the intention of sending them to Iraq and Afghanistan. And we did that for about 2 years. Okay. And to the tune of probably close to 2,700 pair of shoes in that period of time. And, we did not have a budget. Let me, this was, but I'll tell you, one of my favorite memories of that time is that I would be standing in line at the post office, and someone would ask what we were doing because I had nine or 10 boxes on the dolly, And they said, well, what are you doing? And I said, well, we've collected shoes and we are sending them to military. I called them our little captains over on the ground in Iraq and Afghanistan. And do you know that there were times when people picked up the tab for those boxes? And
Are
it's
you
one of,
in line?
in line. In line.
Wow.
And I'll tell you
What's
what,
that?
the other part of that, Michael, is that in reality, I didn't really know how those boxes were going out that day. So, it was, you talk about miracles. I love to talk about miracles. And so we did that. And as I said, we did it for about 2 years. But before we sent out the first box, I was getting so many shoes of, types that wouldn't go overseas. And I said, okay, we will continue this. We'll share with homeless shelters locally and back to work programs for women. We always get a boatload of women's dress shoes. And so I'm trying to think when we surpassed 40,000 pairs of shoes, but I actually stopped counting, I just, but we delivered, like a bunch of shoes the other day. And, it's, we're coming up to our 14th birthday.
How
So
wonderful.
in June, it's our 14th birthday. So I'm very grateful and blessed. It gave me purpose that I didn't know prior to that. So
It's really interesting.
as I said,
Yeah, it's really interesting how spirit works sometimes through a
unbelievable.
discontinuous thought. You just happen to be at a location, you just happen to be there, and then you get this idea for this wonderful ministry.
Right.
So your shoe ministry is different from things that people have and organizations have done in the past, where
Yes.
they've taken the shoes and they've sent them. Now you were sending them overseas, but you do something very unique, especially here in the United States when you go into an area. Tell us what you do.
Well, and it was twofold. The reason why this worked out so well is that, for instance, when I came to Cleveland, there is absolutely no sense for me, or, just to anticipate that people would donate their shoes and then let me take them away. So what I do when I come to your town is we sort them and package them, and we distribute them to agencies in your town. And that has been, probably one of the greatest, literally the greatest features of WAMS ever, because, the people that, for instance, at the church, if, people bring their shoes, they are donating to the church, to me, and then, they know that those shoes are going out into the community to support their neighbors. And that has been, actually a brilliant idea. And we do not, the other thing that's so important is we do not resell your shoes. Each pair of shoes, goes where it needs to go.
I think that's absolutely wonderful. Tell the story about the man in Cleveland.
Oh, I was just thinking about that, Michael. When I was in Cleveland, I asked, I don't drive, so you talk about the village. It really, and so I asked if we could stop.
Diego is cringing in the background here. We're kind of losing you here.
At Public Square in Cleveland. So we were, my friend and I were walking around Public Square, and it's pretty intriguing when I'm looking at people's feet, and this one time I came up upon a man, and I who was sitting on the low wall, and I said, "Sir, how are your shoes?" And he looked at me as if I were absolutely crazy. And I said, "No, sir." I said, "I would like to know if you need a pair of shoes." And he just lit up like a Christmas tree. And this was the end of September, but he selected this gorgeous pair of sturdy sandals. And, when he walked away, he was flying. But the other story that I truly, truly adore is I came up upon this man sitting on a bench, and he was kind of, seemed downtrodden, as it were. And I sat down next to him and I said, "Sir, I have shoes, and I wanted to know how your shoes are doing, and could you use a new pair of shoes or a different pair of shoes?" And I never know about sizes and things like that. So we went into the bag and we found this pair of shoes that zipped up the front and had like a plush lining. And again, end of September in Cleveland. Well, those
Well,
shoes.
it's necessary up here, but go ahead.
Exactly. The shoes fit him like a glove. And, I didn't stick around. I was happy for him. And I walked around and I came back over to around the square, and I came back over to the traffic light and I looked back and he had left. In fact, he was crossing the street right by me, but he had left his old shoes there. And so I walked back to look at those shoes. And you know that the soles of those shoes were falling off. So again, I love when we can contribute to a miracle in a person's life. Truly
Yes,
amazing.
and I think, yeah, and I see, and this is the reason why we in New Thought are getting more involved in social issues.
Yes.
That it's just a lot more. It's a lot more than just our teaching. That we can go ahead and you affected people's lives, and when you go into a town, you affect people's lives in a positive. And I think that that's sometimes that people cannot even hear our good news or our message until they're fed, until they have a decent pair of shoes on. And so I think us really coming from a place of abundance and being able to then go ahead and to share from our abundance with those two gentlemen, especially that you're talking about, really, we're able to touch, and you're able to touch people's lives through your ministry. So how has COVID affected you here in the past couple of years?
Well, it has affected us. I did get COVID the first Christmas. I didn't have it. I didn't have a bad case of it, but it kind of curtailed things, and so I wasn't delivering shoes as often as I'd like. We're almost completely ready to welcome a new influx of shoes. And of course, it's now flip-flop season, so we do our flip-flop adventure as well. But it was a challenge in that you didn't know who would open their doors. Did the agencies want superfluous people in their offices and things like that? So it's been, the last 2 years have been very kind of quiet, very quiet, but we're gearing up. We are gearing up. So I'm very grateful and very, very blessed for sure.
The Reverend Shoes World Tour coming to a town near you. Talk to us about the World Congress coming up this summer in Chicago for International New Science. In
my opinion, this particular Congress is going to be stunning, absolutely stunning. We are welcoming, I believe it's 10 or 11 of the leaders of New Thought here in the United States. And that is really, really big. And so we really are encouraging people to, come out to join us. I believe it's the 18th through the 21st. I always get,
Yes.
I don't have my papers in front of me, but 18th through the 21st. And it's at Christ Universal Temple in Chicago on Ashland Avenue. And, I just know that the experience is going to be just remarkable. And of course, just the fact that we can get back together and see people. See, for me, that's the best part of it. I adore getting together with people that I've had the privilege of meeting since 2011. And so that's where my my enthusiasm goes is to have that opportunity for sure.
Yes,
So,
and you and I haven't seen each other since 2019, since
19,
Nashville.
yes, in Nashville. Yeah, that was a wonderful Congress. That
Yes.
was a wonderful Congress, for sure.
Yeah,
So,
so someone was asking me, they're saying, well, you've been to one of these, what do you think about them? And I said, I said, they're off the chain. They're really, really good. I mean,
yeah.
when we were down in Nashville, I mean, the music, oh my goodness, the music was just unbelievable. This one of the Centers for Spiritual Living down there, they have their house band is made up of all session musicians from all the studios in Nashville.
In Nashville, absolutely.
Oh
Absolutely.
man, I'm telling you, we heard from Reverend Donna Michaels down there. Oh man, just the music was just incredible, and the messages were, I mean, they were just absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
So if you have if you are near the Chicago area and you're kind of planning your summer, go on the INTA website. You can just Google International New Thought Alliance, because there is another organization, INTA. So go International New Thought Alliance, go to their website and get the information to come to the World Congress. Again, this has been happening for well over 100 years.
107 years is this year.
107 years. So we have the opportunity here again to fellowship. And the other thing too is that I'm not supposed to say anything else. Well, let's just say that they're planning on me being on the media team. That's the only thing I'm allowed to say, or the guns will come out and start shooting me out of the walls. But anyhow, so that's tell us a little bit about INTA for those people who are not familiar with the organization. Again, this is the 107th year that you've met as a World Congress. So tell us a little bit about the organization and its history. All right. Well, we're not we're not hearing very much here.
Rev Shoes, you're on mute.
Donna Christine, you're on mute. You got to take yourself off the mute.
How's that? Is that better?
Yes. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
What I was saying is that, you know, the International New Thought Alliance was created in 1915. However, you know, New Thought, with, you know, several of the different, what I call modalities, were, you know, more or less gathering together since the mid 1800s. And one of the things I particularly like about about New Thought is it's been very engaged by women, and so that to me was fascinating. Now, the other part of it is that, you know, if you go on some of the websites for New Thought, you will see some of the most dynamic pioneers that have you know, led the way, and so it's really been incredible. I've had the privilege of being, you know, with the Congress as, and for the most part, as hospitality chair since 2011, when I was ordained, and so it's been wonderful, and meeting people. Oh, the most important thing, and you know, to me, INT is the umbrella for all other New Thought, whether it's CSL, Unity, Divine Science, etc. And so theoretically, you have this you know, this central point where everyone can gather. You know, their ideas are, you know, similar, and it's basically all about, you know, celebrating, you know, life. So, you know, I hope you will all come to Chicago and see us at CUT, And I just know that it will be a memorable experience for you. I have absolutely no doubt about that. And the other, I might add that there's another website. It's called INTA Events, intaevents.org. So that will take you directly.
intaevents.org.
Yes.
So we'll have Diego put that up. intaevents.org. You can get more information. We're going to miss a friend of ours this year who just made his transition, J. Scott Neal. Do you have any remembrance of Dr. Neal?
Yes, he, one thing about Dr. J is, specifically when we were still doing the congresses in Phoenix, I'm at the door as the welcome wagon, as it were, and he would be coming down the hall, and his smile just lit up the room. And he always had a kind word, I would like to say he had a kind word for everybody. And
absolutely.
So he will definitely be missed for sure. And of course, Helen Carey. I mean, just the fact that we will be missing Helen Carey, that is really, I adored Helen Carey. I mean, just this statuesque, beautiful woman.
Reverend Dr. Helen Carey, who was the associate minister at and Johnny Coleman's right-hand lady there.
Yeah,
for many years.
I mean, she just, oh gosh, every time I was in her presence, you just knew that, you were embraced by love, for sure. So several of our, incredible people have made their transitions over the last several years. So, we have been truly blessed by their wisdom and their sharing, and the fact that we get to continue their path, So
absolutely.
It's very exciting.
So I'm getting a message here from Master Control here. Is there a website for WHAMS that we can put up there?
Certainly. I basically use Facebook as my website. So it's facebook.com/WAMSNOW, WAMMSNOW.
Okay, so that's facebook.com/WAMS, WAAMS.
Two M's.
Oh, okay, real good. Hopefully we can put that up here.
I'd appreciate that.
WAMS now,
but
yeah.
But you have to have the Facebook in front of that.
Yes. Donna Christine Park, always an honor to have you here. Thank you for putting up with all the technical stuff here. Again, reminding, go ahead.
I appreciate your patience with mine. I'm still new to this, this part of it, but it's important to learn, for sure.
Yeah, well, for sure, and that we are really, I appreciate all the wonderful work that you do in the name of the Lord. You do in the name of Spirit out there. I think that, again, if we could all in our communities find one thing that we could do in our communities that would whether it be gathering clothes or shoes or something else, I think that, again, that we would really show love to the world by doing that. So this gives us all an idea that this is something we all need to be doing. Go ahead.
For sure, and I must have more to seeing you.
Okay. Well, Reverend Donna Christine Park, we're going to let you go here. Donna Christine Park from the service organization called WHAMS. That's Walk a Mile in My Shoes to the Path of Peace. Also, if you go to intaevents.org, you'll get more information about the wonderful program that's going to be held this coming summer, the 107th World Congress of the International New Thought Alliance. World-class music, world-class speakers. Again, it's going to be held at Christ Universal Temple, which was the church of the late Dr. Johnny Coleman. So it's going to be a great time this summer. So Donna Christine Park, again, thank you so very much. I just want to say to everyone out there, again, thank you for joining us this evening. Sorry about all the technical problems. However, the one thing that you can do is this. You can go ahead and you can go on to, okay. You can go on to the ntmedia.org/donate, and please give a generous gift so that we can continue this wonderful ministry here. So for all of us, to all of you, Pastor Michael Mangus saying, have a wonderful evening, and we will see you next week.
Thanks for joining us this evening for Friday's Fireside Chat with Pastor Michael Mangus. Join us again next week at 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain for more spiritual conversations for today. For more information and replays of past shows, please visit the New Thought Radio and Media Network's Facebook page. Until next week, may God bless you richly and abundantly.
Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, for your continued support. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown Atlanta, for your monthly contribution. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, for your monthly contribution. And please help us welcome Om Center for Spiritual Living in La Mesa, California. Thank you for your monthly donation. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, for your most generous donation. And a special thanks to Hefferlin Foundation for your generous technology grant. And Suze Ajit, thank you for your very generous donation. And a super special thank you to Dr. Tracy Brown, RSCP. Thanks for being a super donor. And a big shout out to all our committed donors.